If you've seen my last video, Paper Mario 64 was what hooked me into loving video games as a medium. I can't tell you the exact number of times that I would restart a save file to re-explore the Mushroom Kingdom. I was enamored by the colorful, fun, paper-themed world, charmed by the wonderful citizens you interacted with, and loved the epic quest of freeing the 7 Star Spirits to rescue Princess Peach and defeat Bowser. So you can imagine that when I heard that there was a Paper Mario 2, my mind was racing. This time, a new adventure awaited me with higher stakes, stronger enemies, and extremely difficult puzzles. You know, these games just need to spell out what you're supposed to do. Oh, well, that's just stupid. I'll just put this under my unsolved list for now. But was the sequel better than the original? Did Thousand Year Door give me the same thrilling experience that I had from playing Paper Mario 64? Well, let's find out today in my review of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was for the Nintendo GameCube. The Thousand Year Door is a direct sequel in terms of chronological order in the Paper Mario world timeline, as well as gameplay mechanics. Unlike reworking and transitioning away from Square's Super Mario RPG, Intelligent Systems now had a strong foundation to expand and improve on from Paper Mario 64. This allowed for a fairly smooth development cycle, since as little as 3 years, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was released in North America in 2004. We begin our journey with Princess Peach sneaking away from Toadsworth to explore the main square in a port town called Rogueport. Before Peach can make any other decision on where to go next, she's called over to a street merchant with various fancy trinkets. Of all the decorations, Peach is drawn to a simple wooden box. Asking what is inside the box, the merchant explains that according to legend, inside the magical wooden box is a map that will reveal where a grand treasure lies. But this box has a magical lock on it that can only be removed by someone with a pure and noble heart. Handing the box over to Peach, the lid slowly opens, revealing with a bright light the mysterious contents inside. Transitioning over to the Mario Bros. House, we see Parakarry drop off a letter for Mario. Peach has invited Mario to join her on an adventure to search for treasure thanks to a mystical map she has found on her travels. Included in the letter is the map and a not-so-subtle request for him to travel to Rogueport. You know, you don't have to go, Mario. There are other princesses and castles you can meet. So without any hesitation, Mario sets off to meet Peach. As soon as Mario lands in Rogueport, he's thrust into a fight to help out a Goomba named Goombella. A villain named Lord Crump is hassling Goombella because she has been asking around for any info on the Crystal Stars. And just like that, Mario beats a fascist, gets an intern, and once again learns that Princess Peach is missing. Learning that Mario had been given an old map from Peach, Goombella realizes that this is the legendary map that reveals the locations of the Crystal Stars, 7 magical artifacts that will unlock the Thousand Year Door and reveal the hidden treasure within. Goombella then takes Mario to the professor, who has more knowledge about the Crystal Stars and knows where the Thousand Year Door is located, within the sewers underneath the town of Rogueport. After some exploring and battles, Mario steps on the pedestal in front of the Thousand Year Door, which reveals in a grandstanding fashion the location of the first Crystal Star within Petal Meadows. With that as their only lead to where Peach may have gone, Mario and Goombella set off in a race against Lord Crump and his goons. As Mario travels over to Petal Meadows, we find Peach in what seems to be either a research or army base. Before she can get too comfortable, a door opens automatically. Following the open doors, Peach walks down the corridors where she meets a supercomputer named Tech. Tech has taken a particular interest in Peach as it experienced an unknown anomaly in its system where Tech saw her through its cameras for the first time. Wanting to prove that it is the ultimate computer, Tech and Peach reach an agreement. Peach can use Tech's communications to contact Mario about her condition and information if she answers and agrees to Tech's questions and requests. Tech informs Peach that she is on the moon, held by a group called the X-Nauts, who are led by an evil scientist named Sir Grotus. Under Grotus' influence, Lord Crump, the X-Nauts, and a new enemy called the Shadow Sirens are after Mario and the Crystal Stars. So, it all comes down to this. Who will successfully collect all 7 crystal stars? Why was Princess Peach kidnapped to begin with? And what does Bowser think of being the B-plot of this game? Like the original, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door combines overworld exploration with light puzzle solving and turn-based combat. Exploring the world, Mario relies on his partner's abilities to give him information on NPCs, hints in rooms, activate switches, cross large chasms, reveal hidden items and doors, and blow up compromised walls. In addition, Mario is given a set of paper-based abilities after freeing trapped poltergeist spirits that are held in black treasure chests. Labeled by these ghosts as quote-unquote curses, allow Mario to contort his body into paper airplanes, boats, sheets, and tubes. It's a fun mechanic that doesn't diminish or conflict with your partner's effectiveness in the overworld. Oftentimes the overworld, both paper modes and partner abilities go hand in hand. Even Mario's jump and hammer are upgraded, like allowing Mario to jump higher to reach pipes on the ceiling and smash away large boxes. The main feature of Thousand Year Door is of course its combat, which has been greatly improved and expanded on compared to the original. Combat is given an extra layer of depth as Mario can now equip badges that modify his partner's stats and needs to maintain their health as well. Going into battle, Mario can have his partners either use items or even take the lead while fighting enemies. This allows Mario to heal himself or use items to enhance his partner's abilities. As Mario regroups in the rear, enemies will be more likely to attack his partner. A vital tactic as Mario went into more intense, prolonged battles during the later chapters of Thousand Year Door. Just remember that when Mario falls in battle, it's game over. But if your partner's health hits 0, they can be revived or switched out for another partner. Even the battle stages are a more engaging dynamic part of every fighting encounter. Not only are the battle stages generic backdrops that represent what area Mario is exploring, but now take place on stage viewed by an audience. Audience members can range from toads to the local population that relate to the specific chapter, or a mixed crowd of allies or enemies. To me, the best part is that Luigi pops in every now and again to support his big brother. What a sweet little guy. Anyway, now that Mario is on stage, his battles are now a performance that requires Mario to keep his crowd entertained in order to refill his star power. Similar to Paper Mario 64, Thousand Year Door has 7 crystal stars to collect, which requires star power to use their abilities. When the star gauge needs to be filled, support and cheers from the audience during Mario's battles refill it. However, every attack does not provide an equal amount of support from the audience. Mario can now perform stylish moves by tapping the A button at certain intervals. This gets more cheers and refills Mario's star power more efficiently. Alternatively, instead of praying, Mario and his partner can wave to the audience. The audience can throw items that aid Mario in battle, or if they're bored, they'll chuck trash or tamper with the stage, causing things to fall, hindering Mario's attack or defense, or boost the opposing enemies. In a lot of ways, it's like Paper Mario is fused with Gladiator. Just like the Star Spirits, the Crystal Stars provide Mario with powers that can heal, refill flower points, attack enemies, boost defense or attack power, and much more. The major difference is that Mario is required to press buttons in a certain order, or at certain intervals, or flick a joystick to make these star abilities more effective. And of course, at the end of every battle, Mario collects star points. When Mario hits 100 star points, he levels up. This means Mario can select either to increase his badge points, health points, or flower points. The more Mario levels up, he will eventually level up his celebrity status from C tier to A tier celebrity. This not only improves Mario's venue, but also increases the number of audience members who can support Mario and recharge his star power with fewer attack cycles. Badges are now a much bigger role in Thousand Year Door. BP are more versatile and critical to Mario's success, and I will admit there is a grind to level up Mario compared to Paper Mario 64. Just taking a look at the total game time from both titles, you can kinda see the difference. I had to spend some sessions leveling up Mario so he could handle the tougher battles later in the game. I even went through the pit of 100 trials a couple of times to power up Mario and gain a few levels to boost my badge points. And even then, facing off against the final boss after entering through the Thousand Year Door was not a walk through the park like how it was fighting Bowser. Mario felt more like a glass cannon based on how well I knew my enemy's attacks, relying on the basic block instead of a perfect block, an option that allows Mario to block all damage from his opponents and counter with 1 point of damage that requires frame perfect timing. Last, Thousand Year Door now has a slot mechanic while Mario battles. In the top right corner, every attack cycle turns 1 slot. If 2 slots match, then Mario has a chance to match all 3. If Mario matches all 3, this fills Mario's audience to the maximum occupancy and refills his stats. Most are to Mario's benefit, which will refill his HP, FP, or star power either individually or all at once. You only need to be wary of the Poison Shroom, which will have Mario's HP, FP, SP, and the whole audience will leave the stage, effectively removing Mario's ability to charge his star power. And as a quick aside, you can play as Bowser pummeling his way through simple 2D platforms, and I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed destroying all the enemies between Bowser and the end goal. All in all, Thousand Year Door's battle mechanics are exceptionally better refined and a step forward in the evolution of this turn-based system. Mario's central location is Rogueport, and I love how it is unapologetic with how different it is from Toad Town. Garbage is everywhere on the cobblestone streets and docks, the cockroaches rule the back alleys, and there is a noose in the town square, which makes you assume it's used often enough to have a knot pre-tied. Oh my god, this is a kid's game? Not even 5 minutes in Rogueport and Mario is pickpocketed. But luckily you can rough up the thief and get back your coins. Inns located inside and outside of Rogueport now charge Mario coins where he needs the rest. The first time I played this game, I hated being charged money, but from an in-world perspective, it makes sense. Now that he's outside of the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario is no longer given freebies. He's not an A-list celebrity in Rogueport and won't be given the same type of attention and leniency as in Toad Town. Besides, Mario is in so much combat anyway, you easily rack up enough coins to pay for even the most extravagant lounges. Not to mention, there are plenty of inn coupons to give you a free stay. But even though Rogueport is rough and the people come off a little rude, they aren't truly bad people. You can see this reflected in the town's trouble center where people can volunteer to help someone with a problem. This can be Mario delivering a message or something as simple as having a conversation with an old Koopa because he just wants company. And if you aren't careful, Mario could miss out on Ms. Mouse being his partner if he doesn't pick up her request from the Trouble Center and find a hidden badge back in the Pedo Meadows dungeon. All surrounding villages and dungeons may have an initial similarity to the first Paper Mario game, but there is a huge difference in their respective stories. Pedo Meadows may seem like Chapter 1 from the first Paper Mario game, but it's clear that the threats are completely different as Hooktail the Dragon holds the village hostage and kills their tourism economy. Or Key Hall Island may appear similar to Yoshi Island, but the circumstances are that Mario needs to confront a pirate ghost and Lord Crump in an all-out naval battle compared to a flaming piranha inside a volcano. Or how Mario will need to be blasted off to space to reach the Exnox base on the moon, similar to how he travels from Starhaven to Bowser's castle in the stars. On the surface, sure, you can criticize some setting similarities, but their corresponding narrative to the settings are completely unique to each other. I will admit that I found the lands that Mario travels to do not feel as cohesive or as narratively sensical as compared to traveling to the surrounding towns and villages in Paper Mario 64. In Chapter 4, Mario enters a fighting tournament on the floating island called the Glitz Pit, because the corresponding crystal star is located there. As much fun as I had fighting in a parody of the WWE and its champion the Rockhawk, a part of me was thinking in the back of my head, why was a magical 1,000-year-old star floating in a flashy modern town? But since it is a Mario game, trust me when I say that I am more than willing to be in a state of disbelief. Half the time Peach is stolen by having a giant cake thrown at her. The fact that we even have epic tales like this from Nintendo is a godsend. However, unlike its settings, the ensemble cast and partners this time are what really make the world of Thousand Year Door shine. Compared to the original Paper Mario, there are fleshed out backstories and several story arcs. A minor complaint I had from the previous Paper Mario game was that the partners would be more than willing to join Mario on his journey. I'm talking about you, Parrot Harry. You can't just go and join up on a major adventure just because someone's good at finding letters. A great example of a story arc from the original is Lady Bo. Lady Bo joins Mario to defeat the invincible Tubba Blubba because he is threatening her village and eating her subjects. It is her duty to her people that motivates her to join Mario to take down Tubba Blubba and free her entrapped Boos. But this is the exception, not the rule. More often than not in Thousand Year Door, however, we learn about our partners and what struggles and dangers they have dealt with in their lives. Koops lacked courage and confidence and was scarred by the death of his father to Hooktail. Once Koops built up enough confidence to join Mario, he was able to conquer his fear by defeating Hooktail and traveling the world. This also gave Koops enough confidence to run for mayor once he went back home. Admiral Bobbery was haunted by the death of his beloved Scarlett while he was away at sea. For years, Bobbery felt that if he only stayed at home and cared for Scarlett, she would have lived instead of succumbing to her sickness. It wasn't until Mario was able to give him a letter written by Scarlett from many years ago, Bobbery was able to have the proper closure and sail on the sea once again. Or Mario providing Vivian a place of refuge in his party because her sisters Beldam and Marilyn were abusive and manipulative. Mario showed her kindness and respect are essential in healthy relationships, enabling Vivian to make the right decisions in her life.
How is this a kid's game?
Oh, come on, look at the paper, it's so cute! Anyway, if you want to avoid spoilers, please skip to this time here. 1, 2, 3, and back to the story. Now that Mario has collected all 7 crystal stars, he heads off to open the Thousand-Year Door. During his travels, Tech revealed to Peach that there is no grand treasure behind the Thousand-Year Door, but instead an evil monster, the Shadow Queen. Sir Grotus kidnapped Peach so that her body could be possessed as a means for the Shadow Queen to be revived.
Well, I mean, that part makes sense.
By reviving the Shadow Queen, Grotus was informed by Beldam that the Shadow Queen would serve him and carry out his plans to conquer the world. However, Beldam lied to Grotus and used Grotus to revive her true master, the Shadow Queen. Easily yeeting Grotus, the Shadow Queen, now possessing Peach's body, fights Mario. In an epic battle, Mario is able to win the battle thanks to the villagers channeling their support and energy through the crystal stars. And just like that, Mario saves Peach and the world once again. Mario has a heartfelt goodbye to his partners on the docks. All Mario's friends and enemies are healing, and Peach wants to go on another treasure hunt. I have had conflicting opinions of Thousand-Year Door and Paper Mario 64. Just before this playthrough, I would have said that Thousand-Year Door was mechanically the better game, but the original was more charming and an overall more engaging story with a better hub world and a cast of characters. But having this opportunity to replay Thousand-Year Door as an adult and thinking critically about it, I can fully appreciate the more mature themes, character development, and connections Mario makes with the citizens in and around Rogueport. More often than not, you move into a new area that's unfamiliar to you, and it's up to you to make an effort to become involved in your community and develop new relationships. Rogueport feels like a new home to me outside of the Mushroom Kingdom. Paper Mario 64 made me love video games, but it was Thousand-Year Door that taught me that I loved RPGs. It took a long time for me to come around, but I can finally say that I've learned to love Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door. So everyone, with that in mind, I am giving Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you to everyone who have stuck around to the end of this review of Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door. If you liked what you saw, please help me by liking and subscribing. My goal is to be verified by the end of this year and would truly appreciate your support. I know that it has taken a while to make new content. To those of you who have been waiting around to see any new videos, I am sorry that this is out so late. But please know that this whole time I have been thinking about this channel and how I need to approach new projects from here on out. Anyway, my name is BirKey, and see what is in my corner next time.